Evening. Ladies and gentlemen, AEW Revolution went down last night, barely 12 hours ago. It was Sting's final match. How was the show? What happened? What just happened? Without further ado, let's just get into it. We had two matches on the pre-show, with the first being a 12-man tag with the Bang Bang Scissors Gang taking on the team of Private Party, Jeff Jarrett, Satnam, Singh, Jay Lethal, and the random Willie, Mack. This was fine. It was cool. The Jeff Jarrett and crew know how to use the old school shenanigans to get the crowd riled up, to get them involved, and that was cool. The real issue was Billy Gunn kicking out of big moves and then showing up Jay White to go toe-to-toe with Satnam Singh, and still Billy Gunn was a couple inches short. But the Bang Bang Scissors Gang won. Max messed up his rap again, and it's starting to get to him, so we're starting to plant the seeds for the inevitable unification of these trios championships. Of a Bang Bang Scissors Gang won. We move on to the second match on the pre-show, which was Julia Hart and Skye Blue taking on Willow, Nightingale, and Kris Statlander. And early on, Willow and Kris controlled the match because their strength, they were just too big and too strong for the two smaller competitors. But Julia and Skye used their underhanded sneak tactics to turn the tide of the match and really controlled a nice portion of it. But honestly, I don't think the winners were ever in doubts, just because Skye Blue had to cheat to beat Kris last week. But Willow and Kris won. This will inevitably lead to a fatal four-way match for the TBS championship, but I really enjoyed it. I like all the women involved. And we move on to the main card. The opening match was the TNT championship match, with Christian Cage defending against Daniel Garcia. Now, a lot of people didn't get to see this match just because Bleacher Report was messing up big time, and they missed really a lot of this match. But it was good. Dan Garcia showed a lot of heart here. I never thought he was going to win, just because we were going to lead to the notable Christian Cage Adam Copeland match here. But if you see one Christian match, you've seen a lot of them. This went 17 minutes. I'm gonna be honest with you, Dan Garcia controlled a lot of this match, and Christian had to cheat multiple times to find sneaky ways to control the match. Dan Garcia was very, very over as a hero with the babyface welcome, but the patriarchy was too much. They even got rid of Matt Menard. But this was good. You've seen one Christian match, you've seen them all. Christian has helped elevated the TNT championship, and we continue on. Actually, I missed one thing on the pre-show. Pac is coming back. Adam Copeland will probably end up helping Danny Garcia fend off Christian Cage. Our second match on the card was for the AEW Continental Crown, with Eddie Kingston defending against Bryan Danielson. This was a match all about respect. The thing with Bryan Danielson here is he's so great as a babyface, and fans want to cheer and want to love him because we know he's Bryan Danielson, but also he really wants to be a heel. And but this is his final year in wrestling, final year as a full-time wrestler, so he gets to do pretty much whatever he wants. He actually has one of the best win-loss records in AEW without ever winning a championship. But this was good. These two have told a story of true animosity towards each other. This was definitely one of my favorite matches on the card. It was well paced. It was hard hitting. It had all the emotion in it, and that's when Bryan Danielson at his best. And we know Eddie Kingston. Eddie Kingston does all of it. He's a master at the art of the underdog, fighting from the bottom, and these two really put everything they had into this match, with their submissions, with their technique, with their strikes. This was good. Eddie Kingston won, and then he won with the stacked powerbomb, and Bryan Danielson, after playing around for a little bit, shook his hand and raised up Eddie Kingston's hand. And Eddie showed Bryan Danielson respect, because it was never about respect for Eddie Kingston. He always respected Bryan Danielson. It was about Danielson respecting him. But this was good, and Danielson letting Eddie chant and let Eddie really soak it in. This was good, man. It's very, very hard not to like these two men. Our third match was the All-Star Scramble match with the winner. Found out at the end was getting a World Championship match. It was originally supposed to be meat madness, but we had some meat in the match. We had Powerhouse Hobbs, we had Lance Archer, we had Wardlow, and we had Bryan Cage. So they really started it off with the meat. Chance just clobbering each other, because that's what the fans really, really wanted. We wanted meat. We wanted meat forever. We wanted big, meaty men slapping man meat. But the other competitors weren't any slouches as well, because we had Hook, we had Dante Martin, we had Magnus representing CMLL, and we had Kris, Jericho, and everybody really, really got time to shine here. Dante Martin, Magnus, Jericho controlled a lot. The big men slapping all the man meat were just entertaining. But when the smaller wrestlers copied the same thing, I enjoyed it. There's a lot of action going on. It was weird to have this. I really wish they would have opened the show with this match, but it was good. Didn't hurt anybody here. Everybody looked good, and Wardlow won, so he gets a championship match coming up. So we're starting to revitalize and ramp up the Undisputed Kingdom. Next up, we had Orange Cassidy defending the International Championship versus Roderick Strong. And once again, like I said, with the All-Star Scramble match, the International Championship match was never in doubt. The winner was never in doubt. Roderick Strong was always going to win this match. He came out with Adam Cole, who was still in the wheelchair, with Matt Taven and Mike Bennett. And this was a good match, but Roderick Strong was always going to walk away the winner here. Strong dominated early and was able to counter a lot of what Orange Cassidy had. And Orange Cassidy had his good counters as well. He had a good, really top rope bounce that worked. But we'll see. Roderick Strong won with the end of Heartache, getting the W. And as he's celebrating the ring with Matt Taven and Mike Bennett, Kyle O'Reilly showed up, and it looked like he was about to start kicking heads off, but him and Roddy hugged, and the Undisputed Kingdom offered him a shirt to join. He turned it away. He looked really emotional and like complex as he walked his way up the ramp, but it was good to have Kyle O'Reilly back after that really, really serious neck injury. We will see where we go with the Undisputed Kingdom. Next up, we had our tag team matches. The Blackpool Combat Club were taking on FTR. And ladies and gentlemen, this right here is tag team wrestling. The BCC came out in some Legion of Doom shoulder pads. But this was an excellent tag team match with Mox and Claudio showing that they can be a tag team, that they know the tag team game. This was beautiful. Just it built until we got a crescendo. We've got the Doomsday Device, we got the Big Swing, we got the Shatter Machine. We got so much stuff that you love about tag team wrestling psychology. Is hard for me to like describe just everything that went on here. But in the end, the BCC won as Claudio held Cash from coming in because Mox was choking out Dax, and that was it. FTR retired, dejected, slumped. BCC flexed in the ring, and there was no handshakes, but there was some level of respect here. I could see one more match here, even though this was the definitive match. Remember, this is the third match that he had. Next up, we had the AEW Women's World Championship match, and Deonna Purrazzo came out first, right? And then Toni Storm's old music hit, and she comes out, and no, it's not Toni Storm. It's Mariah May dressed up as the old Toni Storm, and she fooled everybody. On first glance, you thought it was Toni Storm, but Mariah ain't got those thighs like Toni. And then Toni came out to our timeless Toni Storm gimmick and music, and this was good. I wanted more from this match. These women really put on a nice technical clinic. Deonna just knew everything that Toni was going to do. She had counters for everything, and Toni had to figure out some way. So she started using Mariah, and she started using Luther to her advantage. And Deonna was trying, but Deonna took her eyes off the ball. And with the referee distracted, Mariah May took a kick, but Toni caught Deonna, hit her with the Storm Zero. 1, 2, 3. Deonna loses, Toni retains. And mind you, Toni tapped at one point, but Aubrey was preoccupied with Luther. Deonna had the match won, but that damn numbers game. But the best part about this match was Deonna got to show her submission prowess, her technical skill, while Toni again made the gimmick that she's rocking with work. We'll see what happens next with Toni Storm. I think we could take the championship off her. Would have been fine here, because you got to do something with Deonna. You have to, every time a new woman comes, they lose the big match, and it's not working anymore. But Deonna has a first taste of adversity. We move on to what I thought was match of the night. Kenosuke Takeshita, Will Ospreay. Oh my God. Takeshita Ospreay absolutely tore the house. If you ask anybody what match they were looking forward to the most, they would say Stings. But they say what match you think was going to be the match of the night, unanimous Ospreay and Takeshita, and boy, they did not disappoint. It is so hard to just go over every single thing that they did here. Takeshita clearly has the power advantage. He's a big boy, but Ospreay has kind of the speed advantage, and I thought that he might have the striking advantage, but Takeshita can strike with the best of them. I mean, these two dudes pulled out all the stops, the chops, the kicks, the maneuvers. And if you've seen what these two have done before, you knew how this was going to go. This joint went about 22 minutes. The crowd was behind Takeshita. They clearly were behind Ospreay, and this worked. Ospreay's been elevated to the main event. Takeshita shows why he is the alpha, and Kyle Fletcher finally returned. But you got to remember, he's also in the Don Callis family. Ospreay's in the Don Callis family, but I really do think that we're going to be moving away with them two leaving once Mark Davis returns from injury. They threw up the United Empire crowns. You know what I mean? And we'll see what's next. They're facing each other this Wednesday on Dynamite. I am really excited to see what we're going to do next. I'm hoping we can get Ospreay versus Bryan Danielson. I'm very, very much hoping we can get that. Next up, we had the AEW World Championship match. The triple threat match of Samoa Joe was defended against Swerve Strickland and Hangman Adam Page. And oh my goodness, ladies and gentlemen, I think we did a double turn in this match. Joe is Joe. Joe was going to be Joe. But I think we did a turn with Swerve and Hangman. So Hangman attacked not one, but two referees anytime Swerve had the match won. His hatred for Swerve, the animosity he has for this man, clouds everything. It clouds his judgment. And that is ultimately what cost him this match. Prince Nana wanted Swerve to cheat, and Swerve didn't take it. He took the hat and gave it back. He's like, I'm doing this the right way. And Joe was just his awesome self, choking out people, putting people through the ringer. And Joe won by he tapped out Adam Page because Heyman did everything in his power to make sure Swerve didn't win, because Swerve had this match won multiple times. He hit the Swerve stop, he hit the JML driver, but Joe capitalized, and this was really, really well paced. It was really, really booked. Joe is perfect here, going in and out of the match, because he's a really smart wrestler. Joe is a smarter, not harder wrestler. And the story ultimately is just Hangman and Swerve are too much with each other, even though it's more Hangman than Swerve. Hangman's definitely got suspended after what he did in this match. I'm interested in the Hangman heel turn. But we're not done with Swerve. We are not Swerve. I know everybody wanted Swerve to get the title. He will. It's going to happen. Swerve is going to be world champion this year. This is the next logical step in Swerve's ascension. Lastly, the main event, Sting, Darby Allin defending their World Tag Team Championships in a tornado tag match against the Young Bucks. So the Young Bucks came out first, then Darby, and we had some legends coming out. We had Flair, we had Ricky the Dragon Steamboat, and they played a video of Sting. This is a retrospective of his career. Too bad, we couldn't get a lot of his WCW stuff because WWE owns all of that. So we get the retrospective of Sting's career, and then his sons come out. One just does American Surfer Sting, the other one comes out with the red face paint, and the Sting comes out. And ladies and gentlemen, as Sting's music is playing, Darby just goes straight at the Young Bucks, and Sting, Darby, awesome. They really controlled a lot of this match early on with the help of Sting's sons, who were just putting a whooping on the Bucks. And then the Young Bucks got the upper hand, low blowing people, power driving Sting on the outside, and then it was just straight up beating the holy hell out of Sting and Darby and the sons. And they put a whooping on Sting. Sting went all out for this match. Sting got superplexed through a table. But you know what we want to talk about. There's a ladder in the ring, and the Young Bucks have brought out a plate glass table. They had it set up on the outside. Darby went for a swanton. The Bucks moved, and Darby went flying, crashing through this table. I thought Darby was dead. I thought Darby was dead. He didn't move. And then the Bucks got Sting and then put him through a glass table, but Sting had a shirt on, so we're good. But then they were just beating. Then they were just beating Sting's ass. They were just totally destroying him. He gave him a Scorpion Death Drop. They were going to give him a super kick. They gave him the "We're not sorry, we hate you." Throwback to Ric Flair, Shawn Michaels, because they had before that had super kicked Ric Flair, who was covering up Sting. It was just everything. And they hit Sting with move after move, hit him with a Scorpion Death Drop, hit him with an EVP trigger, and Sting kept kicking out, powerbombing through a table. Sting got up, kicked out at one. The Stinger was not going to go down without a fight, and they hit Sting with an EVP trigger. Sting kicked out. They pleaded with Knox, like, what is going on? They hit him They shook Sting's hand and said, "It's been a pleasure doing business with you. I love these vice president gimmicks they're doing right now." Hit it with another EVP trigger, and Sting kicked out at one. Sting laughed, got to his feet, and the crowd was loving it. More super kicks, and then Darby showed up. Bam! Stopped the TK driver. Shoved Nick out of the ring, who went through a table. Sting hit a Scorpion Death Drop, got it 2. Darby hit a Coffin Drop, and Sting hit the Scorpion Death Lock and tapped out Matthew Jackson. Darby was covered in bandages, still bleeding from his back right arm. Hug Sting. This was beautiful. Seek and Destroy played. I don't care what nobody says. This was the perfect way for a legend to go out. We celebrated Sting. We celebrated not only an icon, but the icon. The Young Bucks were great here. This was just awesome. This was beautiful. Sting thanked everybody. Sting thanked Darby. Darby thanked Sting. It was just awesome. And I'm happy that a legend gets to go out on his own terms. Yes, I do think the Bucks should have won because now the tag team titles are vacated, but we can use this upcoming tournament to reboot the tag team division. But other than that, this was great. This was a killer match to a really fun show. Probably wasn't like one of the greatest shows, but it was still very, very good. Like this Revolution gets a B+. I really enjoyed this show. This was just fun. I wish there was another women's match on the card. But I think we're going to see the rise and the evolution of the women's division with the debut of Mercedes Moné and Megan Bayne coming in. But this was a great show. Revolution gets a B+. Come back this week we got the recap. Don't forget to check that out. We got the Irish Hustle podcast this Saturday. We got some Reddit content. We got a list. And tomorrow we're talking about the 2K24 ratings. Oh my God. We need to have a discussion. But that is our show. I will see you when I see you. Peace.